a driver in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia and you've ever received one of these in the mail, you may want to watch this video because I'm actually going to point out a intersection that has been notorious for sending out violation notices to drivers in the area. And there is a really good reason, if you've gotten one of these tickets, that you may want to make a few phone calls. So I've actually talked to the city manager's office for the city of Hampton, and they asked me to put together a little bit of a video to actually show them the discrepancy of what's happening in that intersection. And I think there's enough information here that this will help a lot of people that may have gotten notice of these violations. Now, in a traffic violation notice like this, which came from a red light camera, the easiest thing to do is just pay the ticket. And I think most of these municipalities know that. So they send these notifications out, and you can actually contest it in court. Now, in order to do that, that means you have to send in the notification and you have to let them know that you're going to contest it in court. And then you have to take the time off from your schedule and you have to go to court. And then you have to wait for your hearing. And then you have to go before the judge. And there is still a chance that the judge could say no, that you're going to have to pay that fine. And then not only that, but you're going to have to pay course costs and other things like that. So generally speaking, you pay the $50 fine and it goes away. It doesn't go on your license or anything else. But there is a principle to these things, and I think that this is one that actually needs to be addressed. So if you have received, particularly from the Settlers Landing intersection approaching I-64 in Hampton City, you may want to watch this video and you may want to actually contact the city manager's office. There'll be a phone number for that at the end of this video. And my trip today, going to be transporting myself from Gloucester Point to East Beach, which requires me to go through this intersection because of a traffic jam on I-64. There was no way to avoid this intersection with the traffic that was built up along that section. So Waze guided me to this intersection, which is a very busy intersection, and it happens to be also the approach to Hampton University coming off of I-64. So as you approach this intersection, and you're going to have to go through this traffic signal right here, but you are instructed to be in the right-hand lane. And you can see that this lane forms back here as the right-hand lane, and there are marker pylons in the street that require you to make and choose your lane. Once you're in this lane, you're in that lane, and you're really not allowed to get out of that lane. As you're approaching the intersection, you have a right lane here that merges you onto and into Tyler Street, which takes you into the approach to Hampton University. As you're approaching the traffic light for that intersection, you have to be in this right lane. And as you can see, there are signal lights here. This photo actually shows that this traffic light, that is a green right turn light, is not currently in place on this traffic signal in this photograph. This lane that you're in the right-hand lane, has now markings that show that you have to stay in this position, and we can actually kind of show that here. You have to be in this lane here approaching the intersection. This lane here in the center, where there's actually a red light, has no traffic. There is no way to actually get into that lane until you exit through this intersection. And as you go through this intersection, you now have two lanes to choose from, but you cannot make the lane change over to I-64. That lane is only accessible from the right lane once you make your way through that intersection. So those are the important features of this intersection. Once you're on the exit ramp, you are making your way onto I-64 into the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel, where you're making your way over to Norfolk. Here we see we have a notice of violation and summons from the city of Hampton for a traffic intersection at Settlers Landing Road on July 7th of 2025. Here we got the subject vehicle, which is coming into the intersection at Settlers Landing Road, and this is at the intersection for Hampton University. You see that all the vehicles in the video are going through the green arrow, the right turn lane. This is the right lane that they're going through. It's very easy to see that lane indicator for that green traffic light is for the lane that I am in. But we have a center lane here with a stoplight that is red, saying that you cannot access I-64 here. I have a lane sign that says I must turn right onto I-64. And here we have other various construction signs which are very confusing for this intersection.
And here on the left, we have a traffic light for the left lane only.
Here we've just got the completion of that video as it plays out, and now the actual real-time video as it plays through. You can see all the traffic is moving through the green traffic control light with nobody going through the red light in the center lane. In this final image, you can see the traffic lights and the lanes that they control, as well as the abundance of signage that is cluttering the view of the driver as they're approaching and going through this intersection.